Hey everybody, how is everyone today? It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. It's really, really nice. And I was just rushing in from someplace else, so I just need a moment to kind of arrive. Let me have a sip. So I hope that you guys are all doing okay, and that even if you are struggling with something, that I hope that joining us for as much of this as you're able to stay for can help you just kind of take a break, step back from everything, and get a little rest and relief. You know, we can just have a little pause, and that's what I hope these midday practices are. And I wanted to share a few things before we get started. First of all, just to remind you that this is a free offering from me and from Art for Introverts, which is a series of courses online and face-to-face and other kinds of offerings to help you support, get through your everyday ups and downs, which are inevitable, but using mindfulness and art to support your creating the best life that you can, and to help you find some freedom from the sense of struggle, no matter what is going on. And that if you would like to stay informed about what's happening, please like the Art for Introverts page. If you'd like to join, we have a private group on Facebook that you can join, where there's lots of free things offered there, things that are just for members of that group. You can also go to the Art for Introverts webpage or website, where there's a contact page there. You can send individual questions there. You can also contact me through direct message or anything like that. And that we have a YouTube channel now, so that's where all of these videos are going to be posted every day as soon as we finish. I put them up there. And to also let you know that starting in December on the 5th, I'm going to be partnering with Urbanity Chicago, which is a wonderful dance company on the near north side. And we're going to offer a meditation, a 3-week contemplative and meditation course that's going to really help you with your kind of personal sovereignty, kind of spiritual freedom, and developing a meditative practice that can help you really build up your emotional resilience even more. These are time-honored practices that come from thousands and thousands of years. All over the globe, people have been using them, and now you'll be able to access it here in Chicago. And the space that we're going to use at Urbanity has enough room for a few people to come face to face. If you feel able to do so, we have X's marked out on the floors. But also you can participate remotely, virtually, and all the information about that and registration will be available on Friday. So stay tuned for that, but you might want to mark off the calendar. It's going to be the 5th. It's 3 Saturdays in a row starting the 5th, so I can't remember the dates, but it's from noon until 1 p.m. If you're coming in person, we ask just don't wear like perfumes or colognes or strongly scented lotions or anything, just because some people, myself included, are kind of sensitive to smells. And when we take this break of time for practice, we want to reduce the amount of distractions and stimulation that we're experiencing. So just for that time, you can always put something on afterwards, after you leave. But that if you're joining us remotely, obviously, whatever you'd like. And that you don't need to have any experience with meditation or anything like that. No. And just know that what we're going to do is going to be a deeper, more in-depth practice than what we do here during these midday breaks, so that it'll allow you to go deeper and develop more tools in your toolkit for navigating whatever's coming your way. And we certainly need that in this time that we're all going through globally, right? So I invite you to pay attention for that. And I wanted to show something before we start our practice. I have this really beautiful statue that's Guanyin. She's considered like a goddess of compassion. And I love the fact that she's pouring water out of a vessel here. It's like the waters of limitless compassion. And that she's considered symbolically as someone who hears the cries of the world suffering. And I think it's interesting and wonderful that so many different spiritual traditions have a figure like this, who is sensitive to the suffering of others and is willing to step up and help. And so today, what I would like our focus to be for our own practice is this idea that comes from that, which is to go like a little segue into science. So in chaos theory, there's this idea of the Lorenz butterfly, and the kind of commonly heard expression is that a butterfly flies in Tokyo, and a week later it might thunderstorm in New York City, or pick your places, right? Doesn't matter. And scientifically, they call it sensitive dependence upon initial conditions. I think of it sometimes as like a country song, right? It's from small things, mama, big things often come. And the idea is that each of us has more influence and power to change the world for good than we realize. And that one way we can do that is when we do practice some kind of meditation, kind of contemplative practice, we reduce our own reactivity, we reduce our fear, we reduce our anger, and all the other kinds of ways that we might put out into the world really negative or potentially harmful emotions, words, actions, can come from making some space to have our own self-care and quiet, offering our own selves a little break, a little self-compassion and some self-care. And that will change how we are experiencing whatever moment we're in. And that even now, during this time of the coronavirus and quarantining and all of that, while we may not be seeing as many people face to face as we normally would do, of course, but we still have so many ways of interacting, right? Through phone conversations, the endless Zoom calls that we're all on, all the different ways that we're working. And for those people who are out in the world working, in stores, delivering things, all of the medical people, so many people out doing jobs that can only be done hands-on, right? We're all still very much engaged with a lot of interaction. And those interactions are kind of strained and tense because our emotions are really amped up. The fear, thing gets us, and that can tend to make us cranky and kind of short-tempered in traffic, in our dealings with people where we'd ordinarily be just fine. And so this idea of us as that butterfly, that Lorenz butterfly, their little wings, right? And the people around us are immediately affected by whatever's going on with us. And it's the only thing we can really control is like, how do we put our best foot forward to try to enter our interactions with an idea to bring a peaceful vibe, bring some non-reactivity, just kind of like gentle, open curiosity, trying to notice when we make assumptions about what's going on. Okay, and so if we can enter a space, whether it's virtual, like here, or it's face-to-face, or any other kind of possible combinations, the idea is that how you are in that moment is going to affect all these people around you, right? And then those people around you are impacted, and then they have their own emotional response, their own mind state, their own mindset, and that affects all the people around them. So you can kind of imagine like this huge ripple effect that goes off infinitely in all directions beyond what we could even possibly know. And because of the global nature of how we are these days, you might be interacting indirectly with people on the other side of the planet. And so that all of us are like this Lorenz butterfly, and we have a choice of what kind of vibe we're going to bring to our interactions. Are we going to try to bring some calm, some peace, some ease, first starting with ourselves and then spreading it outward, so that if we can be in that place ourselves, even a little bit, even if we just say, I'm really trying, I'm having a hard day today, but I'm really trying to just stay kind of with some equanimity, trying to keep an even keel, rather than making assumptions and bringing reactivity and anger. So our practice today is going to really be about giving ourselves our own space just to sit and breathe, right? And to just notice whatever thoughts are coming through, what's going on with our body, what's going on with our mind, and taking a step back from all the engagement and just creating a little bubble here for ourselves, that then we bring that energy out into the world. And in a simple few minutes of practice, we can significantly reduce the amount of fear and anger that's out there by bringing our own peaceful hearts to it. All right, so let's get started. I would suggest that maybe you want to take a moment and turn your phone to do not disturb so that you can still hear, but you won't be interrupted. And if at any point you need to leave, go back to work, whatever it is that's going on, go ahead and do that. The recording will be posted later, of course. But if you can, get yourself comfortable, either standing or sitting or even laying down. And get yourself into a position where you can stay there for a few minutes. All right? And now you're just going to listen to the sound of this bell. And just let your attention rest lightly, gently on that sound. And now drawing your awareness inwards to the feeling of the physical feelings of the breath coming in and out of the body. Maybe at the nose, the belly, the chest, or maybe even the whole body. And if this is something new to you, just allow yourself to feel at ease. You're not going to do anything super crazy or weird, nothing special. We're just simply sitting and setting our intention to pay attention in this very particular way to the physical feelings of the breath coming in and going out. Imagining perhaps that you're this little beautiful butterfly. The butterfly of your awareness is resting on the breath gently in the same way that a butterfly might rest on a flower, a stalk of grass. And just allowing yourself to drop into the present moment on purpose, with a kind and curious, non-judgmental attention. Just knowing that the breathing is happening, knowing that you're breathing in, and knowing that you're breathing out. Sometimes you breathe long and deep, and other times short and shallow. You might have to sneeze or cough or blow your nose or whatever. Just go ahead and let everything just be. Not trying to shape the breath or control it in any way. Noticing what sensations might be there. If you're breathing through the nose, maybe noticing that the air coming in is cool and the air going out is a little bit warmer. quite naturally, your mind is going to be pulled away, thinking things, planning things, maybe with some worries, and knowing that that's totally fine, it's totally okay. We just want to notice that it happens. And as you're ready, releasing that thinking, letting it dissolve, and then bringing your awareness, your attention gently back to that sensation of the breath coming and going. So in this time of silence, just allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to practice paying attention just to the breath, noticing when the mind wanders, gently returning your awareness to the breath, non-judgmental, total loving kindness, very, very gentle care of the butterfly that is you. It might seem to you like the mind really does kind of chatter on, and just know that that's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the mind. And so when we do this practice, we just set our intention to notice what's happening and then gently return to the breath. That's the practice. Just allowing yourself to drop in to the present moment. Maybe noticing sounds that are in your space or coming in from outside. Seeing if you can notice those sounds without letting your mind get pulled. But if it does, it's totally natural. It's the nature of the mind to hear a car and wonder what kind and which way is it going. Just letting go of all the stories and coming just to the simple observation of the breath. This miraculous, life-giving breath. Perhaps you notice different feelings in the body, maybe feeling sleepy or kind of restive, a little fidgety. Just again noticing and coming back to the breath sensations. Knowing that when we bring this to a close, you're going to hear another bell, so you don't even need to wonder or worry if there's some special cue. listening to the sound that the bell makes. As it fades away, just bringing the idea of movement into your mind, slowly opening the eyes. And just taking perhaps a moment just to savor, like, ooh, that was nice to let go. Nice to take that breath, that pause. I thank you all for coming today. And it occurs to me that since I started with this idea of the image of this peaceful, this woman of infinite compassion, Kuan Yin, with her water pouring, that maybe there's images that you have from your own spiritual traditions or other art. Maybe it's a photo or a painting of something beautiful that gives you that feeling deep inside of like, ooh, this reminds me of the beauty of the world. If you have a picture of that, you can snap of something and share it in the comments. That would be lovely. And just remember that you can take a break like this anytime during the day. If you do drop in a photo of something that brings you a feeling of peace, maybe just tell us a little bit about what it is, anything that you want to share at all, what kind of feeling it produces for you. That would be great. All right, everyone, thanks so much for coming. I wish you all a peaceful rest of your day wherever you are. You are now individual butterflies of peace, agents for peaceful change, good energy. Together, we send that ripple of good vibes out across the entire planet. See you tomorrow.